Disney just dropped a brand new ship announcement, and I have so many thoughts. So we're going to walk through the announcement of the Disney Believe. This is going to be their next new ship coming in late 2027 next year. We know a little bit about it. We got an announcement this week, and then we're going to speculate wildly about what we think they're going to do with this ship. There were some Easter eggs in the announcement, so let's just start at the beginning. Now, this was a really fun timing as well, because this was announced on March 18th at the Walt Disney Company annual shareholders meeting by the brand new Disney CEO Josh D'Amaro. On his very first day running the company, he announced the brand new ship. And of course, the name he revealed, the Disney Believe. This is going to be the fourth ship in the Wish class. There are going to be a total of 5, which is a little confusing right there, because at first they announced 3, which are in the water and sailing: the Wish, the Treasure, and the Destiny. After the first 3 were announced, the Oriental Land Company decided they wanted to have a Wish-class ship, so theirs will be sailing in 2029. So the Japan ship is technically Wish-class number 5, and this one, Disney Believe, is the 4th. This one will be coming in late 2027. Make sure you're subscribed. We're gonna have lots of news and updates on this. So what I've heard so far about this ship is that this ship is intended to be their biggest and boldest family experience, so I really am excited about the concepts that are going to come alive here. I really do think that it's going to focus on the family fun aspect. And what I'm hearing is that the Disney Believe is going to be their most immersive, the most interactive ship concept yet. And I do think this is where they're headed because of the Disney Adventure and San Francisco Street specifically. I think San Francisco Street is the coolest thing they have ever done on one of their cruise ships. And you can see very clearly you've got mom, grandma, and kids all in here playing these games together. And this is what I think should be on a Disney cruise ship. Now, they do have the Hero Zone on the Wish, Treasure, and Destiny, where you can go in there and you can do the big inflatable hero course. That's a lot of fun. It is open for families. There's the family slide, there's the pools, there's the shows, there's the characters, but I think something where they can have interactive, immersive fun like San Francisco Street is what we're missing. And so I hope they do something like that on the Disney Believe. I really do think they could use actually the Hero Zone and retheme it and do something like that in there. Okay, so before we go full hype mode on the Believe and all the details, let's make sure everyone's on the same page about what the Wish class actually is. The Wish class is Disney Cruise Line's newest generation of ships. The lead ship, the Disney Wish, debuted in 2022. These ships are different than the Magic class, the Magic and Wonder, and the Dream class, the Dream and Fantasy. The Wish, Treasure, and Destiny are the current Wish class ships, and these ships are immersive, story-driven, floating theme park representations. They don't have all the rides yet, but they definitely have the entertainment, the shows, the characters, grand atriums that are 3 decks high, rotational dining where the room itself changes to tell a story, Broadway caliber stage shows, kids clubs that you've walked inside a Pixar or a Marvel movie. These ships are experiences. After the Wish, they launched the Treasure in late 2024 with the adventure theme, and then the Disney Destiny, which has a heroes and villains theme, just released this past year in 2025. So each ship in the Wish class shares the same basic bones, the same general layout, deck plan, but the theming, the restaurants, the shows, the signature spaces, these are what's rotating and changing with each ship. And that is where all of our speculation today is going to be. So let's start off first with the theme. The theme for the Disney Believe is Promise and Possibilities. Promise and Possibilities is about characters who believed in themselves, who took a wish, a dream, a hope, and made it real. It's about potential. It's about the idea that anything can happen if you just believe. And that's what we love about Disney, this powerful storytelling real estate, the intellectual property that they have to use and feature on these ships. So every Wish class ship gets the theme. It anchors the whole experience. The Wish was enchantment. The Treasure was adventure. The Destiny, heroes and villains. And the Believe is promise and possibilities. They teased a lot of intellectual properties in here. We've got Snow White and the Dwarves, Rapunzel, Inside Out, Iron Man, Zootopia, Casita, the Encanto, Casita and Family, Groot, Moana, Maui, Frozen, all of these have in common that they are groups and family. And they also had a few Easter eggs that flew in really fast. Sully from Monsters, Inc. The Millennium Falcon was in there for just a second, and I was really excited to see The Nightmare Before Christmas, because I think they could do a lot with that could be really fun. Every single one of these is a story about someone who has to believe in themselves against all odds. Mirabelle in Encanto doesn't think she has a gift and then figures out she's been the gift all along. Moana keeps hearing the ocean calling her, but everyone around her is saying, no, stay home, don't go. Elsa literally has to let go of fear and just trust herself. Snow White makes the wish at a well. This theme is genuinely cohesive in a way I really appreciate. And this even goes back to Walt and Disney and Mickey and all of it, because he had to believe in himself. Promise and possibilities. Okay, so let's dive into where they might put some of this intellectual property on the ship. So I want to start with the dining, of course. If you're new to Disney Cruise Line, they do rotational dining. They're gonna have 3 themed restaurants. Every night you go to a different one. But here's the twist. Your servers move with you. Same servers, different restaurant. Each night you get to know your servers. They get to know you, your preferences, the kids' names. It's a lot of fun. I really love that aspect about dining on Disney cruise ships. So on the ships, they are going to have 3 main dining restaurants. They're going to have 1923 and Worlds of Marvel, which are predominantly the same on every ship. The show changes a little bit at the Worlds of Marvel, but the menus are the same. The environment's the same. The one that changes is the dining experience. It's basically a theater in the round. The stage is in the middle, the tables are all around it, and the walls can be themed. On the Wish, the restaurant is a Frozen dining experience. It's basically dinner theater where Elsa and Anna and Olaf show up. Lots of fun. On the Treasure, there's a Coco themed version. On the Destiny, it's the Lion King. And for the Disney Believe, we are speculating that this is either going to be Encanto or Moana themed. Now, I think Encanto is perfect. They've already built this theme out with Coco, so the theming fits really well already. It's kind of built for them. The Encanto soundtrack is absolutely stacked. Bruno, Surface Pressure, what else can I do? All of it. The movie literally starts with Mirabelle singing to a crowd of townspeople, which maps perfectly onto a dining room full of guests. The food angle works because Colombian cuisine is genuinely delicious and underrepresented on cruise ships. And the visual concept of the magical casita coming to life around you, imagine that as a dinner show. The candles, the colors, the chaos of the Madrigal family. I am sold. Now, the other possibility I think here is Moana, because I think Encanto would be a great stage show as well, which Moana would also. Obviously, they've already got it on the Treasure, but they have a unique stage show for every ship, so I do not think Moana is going to be the stage show. Therefore, I think it could be the restaurant, because a Polynesian theme feast with Moana's ocean magic at the backdrop, this would be incredible. Ohana at Walt Disney World is one of the most popular restaurants they have. The Polynesian theme feast is huge, so I could see this working very well in that venue as well. I really am torn here between Encanto and Moana for the restaurant. And hey, make sure you let us know in the comments below if you agree with us and if you disagree with us. Let us know your theories. I want to hear all about it. Comments may be featured in a future video. Another piece for the dining is I think they will probably have the Groot show at the Worlds of Marvel, since we did see Groot in the commercial. I have heard some speculation about how it would be great if they had a Star Wars restaurant replace the Marvel restaurant. I think that could be a lot of fun. It could be a draw specifically for the Believe. You have to believe in the Force, obviously. I don't think they will do it though, because the Marvel brand and IP is so built out already on that ship. Plus, it's on the first 3 ships. They usually do stick with just one rotating restaurant, but I do think that would be a unique experience. And there is a specific quote in their press release that I thought was very interesting. They talk about how the ship is going to be filled with the powerful stories of Disney characters who believe in themselves, in their dreams, and in the promise and possibility of a better tomorrow. This is the really interesting part. Quote, "The Disney Believe will bring to life the magical worlds of Encanto and Frozen, the wishing wells of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and the depths of the sea with Moana and the Little Mermaid like never before." So to me, they are going to make some type of interactive dynamic happen here. I can see the two-story family lounge that they have on board being Little Mermaid themed, and it all looks like you're underwater while you're in there. And I've actually seen this many places. We Do Disney Right mentioned this over on her Instagram the other day. The Disney Believe is focused on promises and possibilities and believing in yourself. So it would be really cool if they had a wishing well, and when you look into the wishing well, you see yourself in the reflection of the water. She states this would symbolize that you need to believe in yourself to make possibilities a reality. I think We Do Disney Right is very right about this. I do think they're going to have a wishing well that's interactive, that says in some way, using probably AI, that you need to believe in yourself. I don't know if it'll be in the atrium, just because Disney Adventure has Snow White and her wishing well as their main statue, and they usually have a unique one per ship. I do think it would be cool if they did Moana and Maui in the atrium, although I still think they will probably be the dining. I think the Frozen group would be really amazing, because actually they could make the atrium look like you're in an ice forest. They've really had a lot of changes there with the lighting and the graphics and the projections that they can do on there. They really ramped that up on the Disney Destiny, and we've certainly seen them make it snow in a Disney atrium before. So Frozen could very well be their atrium representation. I also think that Rapunzel could be a good representation, because they could make the lanterns be floating up around the Grand Hall. And to be honest, the Little Mermaid could be really neat here as well, making it like you're under the sea, but I think that probably would be easier to do in that family lounge space. I also think that they're going to be ramping up the theater stage show a little bit more, making it more immersive. Here's the thing with the stage show though, they've already got so many of them. Moana, Frozen, they've got a Believe stage show, they've got the Little Mermaid and Rapunzel. So leaving all of those out, I really do think the stage show would have to be Encanto, because Lin-Manuel has already written the music. I mean, it's just a slam dunk. If not that, I could see them doing maybe Snow White, but I don't know. I just don't think they would do a Monsters Inc. or an Inside Out stage show, so I really think it might come down to Encanto for the stage show. Unless they repeat Moana, but I just don't think they're gonna do that. And we've got to keep in mind, they've got the structure of the ship, so they've got to stick with that, and they've got the main components that they do repeat across ships, so they're only gonna change so much here. But I'd love to hear your theories. Now here's where I am really curious, where are they going to put Nightmare Before Christmas? I think that this might go where the Haunted Mansion Parlor is. The Haunted Mansion Parlor has been a huge hit. It is the highly themed lounge on the Treasure and the Destiny. It's the Hyperspace Lounge on the Disney Wish. I've heard some theory that they will bring the Hyperspace Lounge back to the Believe. I just don't think so, because the Haunted Mansion Parlor got such rave reviews in comparison. I do think that it could be a fun Frozen theme or Fantasia, but I think Nightmare Before Christmas would really be a lot of fun in this space. A lounge themed The Nightmare Before Christmas could take over this location. It keeps the spooky, gothic, slightly dark energy of that lounge slot while being a fresh perspective. And I think it fits the Believe theme really well. Jack Skellington literally tries to believe he can reinvent Christmas, and the cocktail possibilities would be incredible. My other thought here is Snow White. This could be a really cool enchanted forest or fairy tale inspired bar. They also could go dark and candlelit with the Evil Queen and the Mirror Room, or a wishing well tavern aesthetic. My other thought here is that they could do something with Monsters Inc. There's also been some speculation that this could be the Encanto slot, but I really think that the Encanto theming belongs either on the stage with the casita coming to life, or in the restaurant with those amazing Colombian flavors. One of the other popular theories I've seen is a Little Mermaid bar. That could be cool as far as being under the sea. I just don't think they would do that for the lounge, but time will tell. And if they don't do a Snow White area in that highly themed lounge, I could also see them doing it in the Central Lounge. The Central Lounge is the main social gathering spot. On the Wish, it's the Bayou, the Princess and the Frog theme. On the Treasure, it's the Skipper's Society with a Jungle Cruise bar. And on the Destiny, it's the Sanctum, which is Doctor Strange inspired. On the Believe, I could really see them doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs here. There's really a lot to work with as far as the decorations and the aesthetics. Where I think Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs would likely be the very best though is the AquaMouse. It just makes me think of the Mine Train at the Magic Kingdom. They could have a lot of fun with this. I also think that Nightmare Before Christmas could be great for the AquaMouse as well. For the youth clubs, I think they're going to stick with the Avengers and the Star Wars and the fairy tale themes. They've been on all of the previous ships. They have had the main entrance aspect that rotates, though. I think the Inside Out crew would be great in this area. It was Wreck-It Ralph on the Disney Destiny, super cute. I think the Inside Out crew is really perfect for the youth clubs. And if they didn't do Monsters Inc. in the main lounge, that could be a lot of fun. Have some comedy stuff in there. I like that idea the more I think about it. But if they don't put Monsters Inc. in that highly themed lounge, then I do think it would probably be the theming for the sweet shop. So the big practical question is, where is this ship going to sail? And the honest answer is Disney hasn't said a word about this yet. Total silence. But based on how they've done things before, my guess is that it's going to be Port Canaveral in Florida, which is where the Wish sails from, and they will likely start the ship with the 3 and 4 night Bahamian route. I do believe that the Disney Wish will be headed to Galveston full-time after it finishes its European season in 2027. If not the Wish, then the Dream, but I think it's going to be the Wish, and I think that the Disney Believe will take over for the Wish in Port Canaveral doing the 3 and 4 night Bahamian route. And these do typically stop at their island locations, Castaway Key and Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. Okay, zooming out for a second, the Believe announcement wasn't just about one ship. Josh D'Amaro basically laid out a roadmap on his first day, and it's ambitious. Now, we knew some of this already, of course. Disney is growing their fleet to 13 ships by 2031. To put that in perspective, they started with 2 ships in 1998. They had 4 ships for a really long time. Their 5th ship came out in 2022, and now they're just going for it. There's the Believe coming in 2027, a 5th Wish-class ship in 2029 in Japan, and a whole brand new class of mid-size ships also starting in 2029. We really don't know anything about these yet. This new class means new design, new size, new theming. I'm very intrigued by this. There's also been some speculation in the fan community that all these newer, bigger ships come online, that Disney is eventually going to retire the Magic and the Wonder. These are the original 2 ships from 1998. They'll be over 30 years old by 2031, and they're much smaller than the newer ships. Disney hasn't said anything about this, but people are watching. Disney takes amazing care of their ships though, so these ships could continue for a while. So that's where we are on the Disney Believe as of today. Go share this with your friends so everybody can get on board with the Believe. And if you're looking for more Disney cruise, go check out 10 Disney food mistakes you don't want to make, or the new ship breakdown, the Disney Adventure in Singapore. We've got a video on everything on that ship. Thanks for being here. We'll see you real soon with some more Disneys.